Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Here we meet again after completing, if we're going by the Gregorian calendar, the year 2024, and we have now entered the year 2025, which brings a really important question to our mind. What did we do in the past 12 months, and what are our plans, inshallah, for the next 12 months, and how can we make sure that we're not wasting 2025 and we're using each and every day meaningfully and living it in a significant way? That's what we're going to discuss today, inshallah. Before we begin, don't forget you can download my free printable planner on www.cupofparenting.com/planner. Why should we care about the new year? Why should we even care that we've entered 2025? And I know it's not anything that we celebrate as Muslims. It's got nothing to do with the Islamic New Year either, which is, a question that sometimes I've been asked, especially when we've been out and about in the holidays. Now, apologies, I know this video is slightly later than I would have liked to, but in the holidays, we are always busy running children's activities, and the video for that should be coming very soon, and we will upload it for you to watch, inshallah, to see what we got up to with our community group. Now, why is time important, and why should we be concerned about it? Well, let's turn to the Quran, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the very famous Surah Al-Asr, by time, indeed, mankind is in loss. And in this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala emphasizes the value of time. How? Because Asr means time, and we learn that time is limited. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by the time, and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by something in the Quran, it usually means that it's an extremely valuable thing, something important. And when it comes to time, obviously every moment counts, because it's one of those things where obviously we're well aware that we're not going to be able to ever turn back the time or get any time back that we might have lost. Time is a capital. Time is something that consumes a person's lifetime, and the only thing we can do with it is to use it valuably and wisely. It's also a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing us during the time that we have on this dunya. So the first thing I would encourage you to do is reflect back on the year 2024. Practice some self-reflection, okay? And it doesn't have to obviously all be bad or negative. Maybe, alhamdulillah, you managed to achieve some of your goals or some things that you really wanted to do, whatever that was for you, whatever that looks like for you. Write it down. I said this last year, and I'm going to say it again, inshallah, that get a pen and a paper, write down just briefly, what did I do during the past 12 months? What did I want to do, and what do I want to do in the next 12 months? And that'll allow you, before doing anything this year, inshallah, to have a little journaling session and to track yourself. Now, it doesn't just have to mean that you're tracking personal achievements. It could be things related to your business, related to your finance, related to your family and your relationships. How did that get on for you? Perhaps you turned into a parent. How is your relationship going with your children? How is your parenting going? Anything at all that was something that you would have liked to achieve or that significantly happened to you, because sometimes that helps you put things into perspective later on. So maybe you didn't achieve something, but maybe there was a reason for it. It could be that something major happened in your life that prevented you from achieving what you wanted to do. So it's always really good to start off with some reflection, inshallah. Remember the hadith, the wise one is the one who calls himself to account. So, account for yourself before you're held to account by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on Yawmul Qiyamah, and really think about your good deeds and your bad deeds and the things that you've done. Next, set your intentions for 2025. And the reason I say to do this now is because it's easy going by the usual calendars that we use, especially if you live in the West. So you'll have opened your calendar to January 2025, and you can quite easily see, going through the months in sequential order, what is coming up in terms of meaningful and significant life events for you as a person. And then you can use these to plan and have good intentions, inshallah. Remember, as a Muslim, you have good intentions, a good niyyah, and you have tawakkul and trust and belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you hope for the best. But then you also put that into action by trying your best as well. And Remember, actions are judged by intentions. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. And create some SMART goals. I'm not going to go into detail about how to create SMART goals because I've done that in lots of previous videos. I'll link one of them here, inshallah, if you do want to go and have a look at how to do that. So really focus on a few different things and a few things that you might want to achieve throughout the year, right? Not just in a specific month. So I know, inshallah, in a couple of months, we'll be entering, with Allah's permission, in the holy month of Ramadan. But aside from that, what are your goals from now till December? You do have plenty of time, inshallah. Use it wisely. So this could be to do with your memorizing Quran. It could be improving your parenting skills to improve your relationship with your children. Maybe you want to do some contribution for the community. Maybe you just want to start something new that you haven't yet had a chance to do. It's better to start it now than to start it never. Okay? There's never going to be a perfect or ideal time. So if there is something that you're really thinking about but you haven't yet got around to doing, make sure you do that. Before we even reach Ramadan, why don't you think about what you might need to do now in order to maximize your Ramadan? Usually every year, I do a Ramadan workshop, inshallah. I'll be doing one of those, and that will allow us to go into quite specific detail about meeting goals and how to make best use of that month. But think about from now, do you need to start doing your sunnah fast on Monday and Thursday to build up the ability to be able to fast? Do you need to start maybe being more consistent in your Quran reading so that when it comes to Ramadan, that's going to be easier for you? So try and think of things that you might need to do before that month hits upon us, inshallah. What about as a family? Set some goals for yourself, for your family, whatever that family looks like for you. You know, whether you live in an extended family, whether you live with your children, whether you're not even married yet, and there's other relatives that you meet and greet. What are some goals that you might need to do with regards to them? So it could be about improving relationship. It could be about acts of kindness. It could be about just visiting them, giving charity. Whatever it is, make some meaningful plans about what you might want to do, inshallah. When it comes to your children, if you do have children and you're a parent, think about what some goals might look like for them. And I wouldn't even say to do this in isolation. Sit down and do it with your children. Are there some activities that they're doing regularly? Are these activities going well? It might be Islamic activities or non-Islamic activities. Is there anything that they should be doing but they're not doing yet, or you would like for them to do? What are some goals regards to children? Because parenting is hard and it also requires a lot of planning, and it's really good to always be regularly visiting goals, especially specific to children, especially when there might be new activities, academic or otherwise, that you want them to achieve. It's no good just assuming or thinking that what they are doing is just going to, pan out for itself if you're not actively sitting down on a year-on-year basis or a regular basis and monitoring that situation. So for example, let's take a couple of examples. If you want them to be memorizing the Quran, or you're both memorizing the Quran, sit down and have a look. What's the style, the strategy? Are you sending them somewhere? Do they have a teacher? What specific goals are there? Like how much are they supposed to have been doing on a daily basis or a weekly basis or a lesson by lesson basis? What should they be on by the end of the year? Make these plans, and again, not just specific to Quran. This is just an example for any other activity. Are there things that they're doing that they don't want to be doing, or they aren't useful for them, or they're not actively engaged? Do you need to change the way you're doing anything with them? So these are all really good points to think about as well as a parent, inshallah. Let's think about time management as well. Now that we're, starting a fresh new year, let's think about utilizing the time. There are two blessings which many people waste: health and free time. I've already done a previous talk on 5 before 5. If you want to watch that, do go and do so, where we talk about time and wasting time as well. Use tools this year, inshallah, like calendars or apps to block out time and dedicate time to do your ibadah, to do your work, to dedicate for your family, and really think about how am I going to utilize my time in a better way. And even if that means just on the weekends to start off with, or just on the days when I'm not working, what can I be doing? Or how can I in the day just block out an hour to maybe do something that I'm not currently doing? Where can I find the time to be doing something that's really important to me? And also think about the things that you don't want to be doing this year. Are there things or, micro little habits that you've picked up that you're doing regularly that actually you can stop doing or you shouldn't be doing, because then that will free up time for yourself, and maybe for you to do other things that are more meaningful. So I don't know, if you've got your phone, for example, are there any apps that you can delete that take up a lot of your time, but they're time wasting apps? Is there a habit that you've got that's not a good habit that takes up a lot of time? Think about a small but significant thing that's specific to you that you can stop doing or cut out from your life because it's wasting your time, to free up time to do something else that's more meaningful, inshallah. And finally, think about your own daily routine. So, first thing in the morning when you wake up, what does your routine look like? Are you happy with that routine? Or is there anything that you would like to change? There's a lot of barakah in the first thing in the morning. You know, I'm talking about Fajr time when you get up to offer your salah. Is there anything else that you specifically can be doing or could be doing? Even if you can't do it on a weekday, could you do it on the weekend, like spending a little bit more time focusing on ibadah and making that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during this really important time? What about your bedtime routine? What does that look like for you? Especially, I'm saying, if you're a mom and you've got children, and sometimes we tend to ignore this time, which is also really valuable. You know, are you doing your du'as? Are your children doing your du'as? Are you reading everything that you should be reading before bedtime and all your adhkar, and following all the correct guidance from the Quran and the Sunnah? These kind of things. So think about this as well, and whether this year, inshallah, you can make any changes or any improvement here. So inshallah, on the channel we are going to be going live for 30 days in a brand new series, and this series is going to specifically be looking at some of the things that we've talked about. This is going to cover specific topics in which we can think about balancing our life as a Muslim, so trying to incorporate our ibadah, but also time to do other things as well, and try and live a maximized, meaningful life, inshallah. So that's going to be a live stream that's going to be starting this week, inshallah. So look out on the channel for details about that. If you enjoyed this video, why not watch my next video on 5 before 5? Until next time, inshallah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.